looking everywhere, that's how the story goes. Grab your gear.
Welcome back to The Corpse and the Rose. The journey so far has been one of haunting beauty and growing dread. In the beginning, Isolde stepped into the ruined halls of the ancient castle, where she met Alaric, the mysterious noble whose very presence seemed carved from both tragedy and desire. Soon, the castle revealed its darker keepers, Selene, Lilith, and Marcella, three women of breathtaking allure, whose beauty veils a far deeper, more sinister truth. Through whispered seductions and candlelit encounters, the story deepened. By the third and fourth chapters, love began to twist into horror, and every embrace felt tinged with doom. And now, in Chapter 5, the circle of women has bound Alaric fully to their ritual of blood and passion, while even Isolde herself has been drawn into their intoxicating web. But this is only the beginning of the descent. In the next chapters, the castle will demand more than whispered vows. Isolde will face her first true initiation into the circle's power, where temptation blurs into the grotesque and the line between love and damnation shatters. Alaric's secret curse will rise fully to the surface, and the women's hold over him and over Isolde will reach a terrifying climax. Will Isolde resist, or will she surrender to the haunting beauty that surrounds her? And what price will love demand when it is entwined with death itself? Stay with us as the shadows deepen. Like, subscribe, and step further into the Gothic darkness of The Corpse and the Rose.
It's a crazy mix. With every twist and turn, we'll learn some new tricks.
The circle closed around her like a crown of thorns. Candlelight gilded the women's faces, painting their beauty with an almost divine glow. Yet the air reeked of roses long rotted, of perfume mingled with decay. Seraphine stepped forward first, her bleeding hand brushing against Isolde's cheek. Do you feel it? Death is not cold, it is a lover's hand, forever steady, never trembling. Isolde tried to pull away, but Marcellina's arm coiled around her waist, pressing her close. You mourn his absence, but here he is, present. Do you not see the gift we've given you? Her lips brushed Isolde's ear, voice hot with promise. Evelyn, trembling, lifted the crucifix again, not to protect, but to offer. Kiss it, as he has. Once profaned, there is no going back. But is it not better to share his fate than be left alone in the graveyard of memory? Clarimonde circled her like a predator savoring prey. Her eyes glowed with cruel delight. A faithful wife in daylight, perhaps, but night breeds other hungers. Do not lie to yourself, Isolde. You have longed for what we are. Valeria came last, bold and blazing, pressing her lips to Isolde's wrist, where her pulse trembled. Hear it? The living heart beating so fast. How sweet it would be if we tasted it together. Alaric's eyes, black as night, fixed upon her. There was no warmth left, no trace of the man she had wed. And yet, when she faltered, he extended his hand toward her. Isolde, be mine, even in death. Her knees weakened, her chest heaved, and for a moment she swayed toward him. The five women closed in, whispering promises, brushing her skin with lips, with nails, with sighs. It was not merely seduction, but a pulling into their world, a place where love was no longer holy, but hungry. Isolde's lips parted. The circle waited for her answer. The crypt quivered with silence, save for the hiss of candle flames bending low. Isolde's breath came shallow, her body trembling between dread and a hunger she dared not name. Valeria's lips pressed once more to her wrist, then slid higher, slow, languid, daring. One kiss, and you will never be alone again, she whispered, her voice silk on steel. Marcellina drew her closer, her scent of lilacs and ash clouding Isolde's thoughts. What do you fear? Love that endures? Desire without age or end? Your husband has already chosen. Will you abandon him to us? Isolde's eyes flickered to Alaric. His face, once radiant, now held the solemn beauty of the grave. Yet when he spoke, it was with the weight of a vow. Come to me, beloved. Let the living world rot. We will bloom forever in the dark. Seraphine pressed the bleeding dagger into Isolde's hand. It is simple. Cut and offer yourself. The circle will seal and you will be ours. Clarimonde laughed low, her mouth brushing Isolde's neck. Or resist, and we will take you screaming. Either way, the kiss will come. Evelyn, soft, trembling, took Isolde's face between her palms. If you are afraid, I will be first. She leaned forward, lips brushing gently against hers, tender, sorrowful, yet charged with forbidden heat. Isolde's resolve cracked like glass. The kiss burned through her veins, leaving her dizzy, weak, yearning. Her knees gave way, and she fell into the arms of the circle. The 5 women closed in, warmth, lips, fingers, breath, binding her not with chains but with desire sharper than any blade. For a heartbeat, she surrendered. She let herself be kissed, caressed, drawn into their black paradise. The world swayed, and she tasted roses drowned in blood. But when her eyes fluttered open, she saw Alaric. Not the man she had married, but a hollow vessel filled with hunger, and a whisper inside her cried out, "This is not love. This is the grave calling me." Still, it was too late. The kiss had bound her. The night bled slowly into dawn, but in the crypt, no light dared to enter. Isolde awoke on cold stone, her lips raw with the memory of Evelyn's kiss, her body aching as though she had crossed a threshold she could not name. She touched her wrist where Valeria's mouth had lingered. Her veins throbbed, hot and unnatural. The pulse beneath her skin no longer felt wholly her own. Marcella crouched beside her, hair spilling like a veil of midnight. "You dreamt of him, didn't you? Alaric, calling you deeper. The bond has begun." Isolde recoiled, but Seraphine was already there, pressing cool fingers against her throat. "Listen, your heartbeat falters. You are crossing, my dove. Death is not to be feared. It is an embrace." Evelyn knelt at her feet, eyes shining with something close to pity. "I did not want you to feel the pain of it. But once kissed, the grave claims slowly. Each breath you take will taste sweeter, sharper, until you can no longer live without us." Alaric stood behind them, his gaze fixed, his smile neither cruel nor kind. "You will stand beside me soon, Isolde. Eternity, bound in the rose and the thorn." Clarimond bent low, her lips grazing Isolde's ear. "But beware, the rose feeds only on blood. Refuse us now, and you will rot between worlds, neither living nor dead." Isolde staggered to her feet, breath ragged. The room spun. Shadows pulsed like veins across the walls, the scent of roses thick enough to choke. Their beauty, their perfume, their lips had become suffocating, cloying. "Stop?" she gasped, clutching her chest. "You're killing me." Valeria smiled, wicked and bright. "No, sweet Isolde, we are remaking you." And in her veins, something dark unfurled. A hunger, soft at first, then sharp, gnawing, ravenous. The hunger gnawed at her insides until her skin felt aflame. Every breath dragged the scent of roses deeper into her lungs, every heartbeat a drumbeat of longing. Isolde stumbled into the crypt's far corner, pressing her palms to the damp wall as though she might claw her way out of stone itself. "No, I won't," she whispered, shaking. "I won't feed." But Valeria was there, graceful as a shadow, cradling a chalice carved from bone. She tipped it, crimson spilling over the rim. The air thickened with the metallic perfume of blood. "One sip, and the ache will end." Marcella's voice draped around her like silk. "You will never feel the chill of the grave again. Never fear abandonment. Eternity, Isolde, ours." Seraphine dragged forward a pale servant boy, his throat marked by delicate punctures. He swayed in trance, his lips parted, offering himself. "Drink," Seraphine commanded. "He begs to be emptied." Evelyn clutched Isolde's arm, her eyes desperate. "If you resist, you will wither between worlds. The hunger will hollow you until nothing remains. Please, let me help you." Clarimond pressed her mouth to the boy's neck, drawing a thin line of blood, then leaned close, letting the droplets glisten on her lips. "Taste it, dove. You are already ours." Alaric stepped forward, his eyes dark as obsidian. "If you love me still, Isolde, prove it, feed, and walk beside me forever." Isolde's body betrayed her. Her knees buckled, her throat burned, her teeth ached. The scent of blood consumed her until nothing existed but the need. With a sob that turned into a gasp, she pressed her mouth to the boy's skin. Warmth flooded her tongue, salt and iron and fire. It poured into her like life itself, burning and soothing all at once. When she pulled back, her lips were stained crimson. Evelyn kissed them clean. The circle shuddered in delight. Isolde's heart slowed, her breath deepened. She was no longer simply theirs, she was becoming one of them. And yet, even as her body thrilled, her soul recoiled. For in Alaric's smile she saw not love, but the hunger of the grave. The circle gathered close, roses and shadows entwined, their beauty dazzling, suffocating. The crypt itself seemed alive, its walls pulsing like the ribs of some vast beast. Isolde's lips still burned with the blood she had taken. She trembled between rapture and revulsion, her heart slowing, her veins darkening. She was theirs, and yet not fully. Alaric stepped forward, robes trailing like spilled ink. Now, my beloved, you are ready. Take your place at my side. Tonight, you are the rose to my corpse, eternal and undying. Valeria draped a chain of blackened silver around Isolde's throat. Marcella wound roses through her hair until thorns pricked her scalp, drawing beads of blood. Seraphine kissed her fingers one by one, whispering spells that bound her flesh to theirs. Eveline lingered last, her eyes wet with sorrow. "Forgive me, Isolde," she whispered. "I wanted you, but I did not wish for you to lose your soul." Her lips brushed Isolde's cheek, tender, fleeting, doomed. Clarimond raised a chalice brimming with crimson. "Drink and be reborn." But as they pressed it to her lips, Isolde froze. In her reflection on the dark liquid, she saw herself, hollow-eyed, fading, her humanity bleeding away. Behind that pale face, she glimpsed her mother, her village, every life she had ever touched. "No," she gasped, thrusting the chalice aside. "I will not be your bride." The circle hissed, beauty twisting to fury. Shadows clawed at her skin. Alaric's voice thundered like a tomb cracking open. "Then you shall rot alone, Isolde, neither living nor dead." Pain ripped through her body, veins bursting with fire. The women closed in, their kisses now venom, their caresses chains. She screamed, staggering backward. In her last strength, she tore the thorned roses from her hair. Blood ran down her face like tears. "If I must die," she choked, "I die mine, not yours." The crypt shook, candles extinguished. The women's laughter, beautiful and terrible, filled the dark. And when silence fell, only the roses remained, drenched in blood, waiting for the next soul to stumble into their embrace. They say the old manor on the hill still breathes when the moon is full. The roses that choke its crumbling stones bloom black and red, their petals heavy with dew that smells faintly of blood. No gardener tends them, and yet they thrive. Thick, thorned, unyielding, as though drinking from the earth itself. And those who dare to wander near swear they hear a woman's voice carried on the night wind. A voice both tender and broken. Some say it is the morning song of Isolde, forever bound between life and death, chained to the crypt where she once defied Alaric and his circle of seductresses. Others whisper that she walks still among the roses, pale and beautiful, her hair threaded with thorns, her lips stained with an eternal kiss of blood, not living, not dead. A bride without a wedding, cursed to wander the border of the grave. The villagers tell the tale to their children in hushed tones. Beware the roses that bloom too dark, for their thorns draw more than blood. They draw the soul. And yet, some, reckless or lovesick, have gone seeking her. Men and women alike, chasing the promise of beauty everlasting, the allure of lips that promise eternity. None have returned. So the legend endures. The corpse, the rose, the kiss that damns, the love that binds, the hunger that never dies. And tonight, as you turn away from this story, remember, sometimes the most dangerous embrace is not the one that kills, but the one that refuses to let you go. This has been The Corpse and the Rose. You've been listening to the Zombie Story Zone. Beware the roses in your path. And until next time, tread carefully in the dark.
In the shadows of the night, where the moonlight glows, the zombies looking everywhere, that's how the story goes. Grab your gear, hold on tight, it's a wild ride ahead, in the zombie story.